Hello everyone and welcome to this presentation. I'm Primož Kvaternik, structural engineer with more than 20 years of experience in construction industry. In this video I want to show you 3D reinforcement which we created for one real-life project. The purpose of this video is to show you how reinforcement can be put into architectural model the smart way instead of drawing separate 2D reinforcement plans of particular structural elements like slabs, beams and so on. We are talking about new approach in structural engineering. Before starting with reinforcement, 3D model of the structure should be created as a model. What does it mean? It means that all structural elements are part of this model and has a 3D nature. So, all views and cross-sections of these models, of these elements, are derived from the model, so we can view them exactly the way we choose to. Just nothing in the model has 2D representation anymore. All object in the model has 3D nature. So, we got architecture from architecture company, we got the model of the structure and we were required to put reinforcement into it. What does it mean? It means that each reinforcement bar or mesh has now 3D nature, is part of this model, and we can view them the way we choose to, or we can very easily change their properties in the model if it's needed. Let's look at the model of the structure, where I will show you in detail what I was talking about. As we can see here, this building is made up of columns, slabs, beams, foundations, and so on. If we look a model a bit, we can see that moving through the model with the mouse highlights objects one at a time. It doesn't really matter in which view we check them. What does it tell us? It tells us that objects has 3D nature and that in which view we look at them, it does not really matter. It is the same object. As we see, if we select foundation here, we have selected the same objects in all views. If you look this, the same story. So, if we double click, for instance, this foundation, a new dialog box opens when we can see the properties of this object, in this particular example, this foundation. We can see lines, colors, everything. For instance, we can change very easily all these properties. If I, for instance, change this depth or dimension of this foundation to 4 meters, and I confirm this, this foundation is changed in all views because it is only one foundation in 3D. So, as you can see, 3D structural model is a must before we start working with reinforcement. We can create it by ourselves from 2D architectural plans, which we can import into working environment, or we can get them through so-called IFC file by email or through common data environment as Open BIM collaboration. The time came that we need to start talking about reinforcement. Reinforcement was put in the model organized in separate layers so that we can view just particular layer of it at a time if we choose to. For this presentation, I will open all layers of reinforcement which we created in this project and which are now appropriate, that it shows us the basic principle of this approach. I will select here reinforcement in walls, reinforcement in slab at one level, then I will select reinforcement of walls in another floor, reinforcement of top slab, then I will choose reinforcement in columns. I hope I choose all reinforcement which we want to show at that moment. Let's wait a little that software process this request. I hope it will be soon now. Okay. We can see now all reinforcement is opened and is presented in the model of the building structure. As you can see here, we have reinforcement of this foundation, then we have starter bars from foundation, we have reinforcement of columns, and so on. As an example for this presentation, I will choose, for instance, to create here cross-section through this foundation that I will show you how you can view reinforcement the way you choose to. For instance, we will select what we want to cut, then we will select what we want to cut, okay, then we will select direction, and so I will now create one cross section which I will also name, and I will put this cross section here. I will choose what I want to see at that moment. Okay. Now, as we can see, we have all reinforcement bars in this cross section already drawn. So we view exactly what we have here in 3D model. We view exactly the same way. We can now label these cross sections 1, 1. And now we can also annotate a little these bars if we want to. For instance, if we want to here annotate this bar down, very easily we can do is we can annotate this bar here, and we each time choose what type of annotation we want to select. So this is very customizable tool. Okay. So as we can see, all bars can be easily viewed, labeled, derived from the model. On exactly the same way, we can make cross-sections view whatever we want from reinforcement model of the whole building, where we can see bars here as 3D object which can be easily view, change or whatever. So this is the end of this presentation, in which I wanted to show you our approach in creating 3D BIM reinforcement. If you have any project, feel free to contact us. Thank you for your attention and have a great day.